Hi stamping friends, it's Becky Roberts from Inking, Idaho. In this video I'm going to recreate a project that I did several years ago, which is a Snowman Tea Light in this adorable little box. So I'll slip this off and I'll show you what's in here. We have a little box that has a cello window in it so you can see through it. You open it up and it's this adorable little Tea-Man light. So I'll turn it on so you can take a look at it. See how cute he is? He's so cute. So we are going to go ahead and get started on this. The first thing that we want to do is create his face. So what you do to get started is you're going to put your 1/2-inch circle punch in a piece of scrap paper. This one I think is about 2 inches by 2 inches maybe. And punch the circle. And then you're going to center this 1 3/8 inch punch around it and punch it out, so that you have his little face. Then you take the tea light and you go ahead, whoops, I already got one on there, then you put it on here. I secured mine down with a couple of little mini glue dots. My tea light is actually raised a little bit on the inside. As you can see, it's got some raised and recessed areas right there. So I just put the mini glue dot on there so that it was on the raised area so that it would stay perfectly on there. Now the next thing we want to do is create his face. His face is created using the pearls, the self-adhesive pearls, by Stampin' Up. And what I did is I just took a black Sharpie marker and I simply colored right over the pearls. They color super easy and they dry very, very quickly. So I'm going to put his smile on first. When you put a smile on, you want to start with the center one and then you want to add to each side as you go along. So I'll put one there. And put one on the other side. Make sure you get that cute little smile line and that they're not perfectly straight. Put that one on and then put this one on. So now we know what direction our snowman is going because that's his face. So from there we can go ahead and take the larger pearls and we will put his eyes on. When you put his eyes on, I want you to put them as close to the little flame as you can because you want to leave room for his hat. So we'll go ahead and set him aside and we'll work on some of the other components of this. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to create the hat for him. The hat is made out of the oval framelit collection. This is the oval that is about 2 1/4 by 1 1/4 inch on the cutting line. So measure the cutting line of that. So you're going to cut out one in crumb cake, you're going to cut out one in real red. Now as soon as I cut them out, I ran them through the cable knit textured embossing folder to give them a little bit of texture. So we can pull those off of there. And then you need to cut this so that you make the parts of the hat. So out of this one, which is the crumb cake, we're going to make the brim of the hat. So the way you do that is you just take the largest, widest portion out of this oval. So you're going to cut once right there until it cuts. See, just like that. And then you're going to reposition it and you're going to cut it about right there so that it cuts for that brim. So now you have the brim of the hat. The red oval is this one over here. You're just going to cut a portion off the top of it. And this just depends on how tall you want your hat. Here's one that's taller and here's one that's shorter. So then you're going to attach this piece with the brim of the hat, and then this little 1/2-inch circle punch can come out of one of these scraps. So we're going to go ahead and use this hat today. And we'll put this on our snowman with some mini glue dots. And again, I got to put mine right on the edge, right there. He's looking cute. Okay, next up we're going to do is a scarf. I made this scarf out of the baker's twine that's in the holiday catalog. This twine is really skinny and really thin, so I put 2 strands together, one of each color, as it were one strand when I braided the scarf. So let me show you what that means, or what that looks like. So I literally took 2 of them, each of them, and that's what I am braiding with, just like that. When you get to the end, just go ahead and tie it in a knot. I have mine secured to my paper cutter for a little bit of resistance, so I just have a little clip on here. So you have both ends tied in a knot. Now you just want to trim the ends. And you're ready to wrap this around him and tie it in a knot, or tie it in a knot first, and then tie it in a bow. Ta-da! I actually did that on camera. Yay me! All right, so we'll adjust it in just a minute. But there he is with his hat and his scarf, and he is complete. How cute is that? So let's turn it on, make sure he works. You should, by the way, you should always test your can first to make sure it works before you go to all the work of putting it together. So we'll take that, turn it off, and we'll set this one aside. The next thing we're going to work on is the box. Now let me bring the box back in. Okay, so we're going to make the lid and we're going to make the box. So I'll show you how to do that. The box is made from cardstock that is 5.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and then you're going to score all 4 sides at 1 3/4 inches. To create the box, you want to cut on the score line up to the center intersecting score line on 2 sides, so this side and this side, or this side and this side. It doesn't matter which sides you use as long as you use opposite sides. So you want to cut straight up the score line, as straight as you can, right to that intersecting score line. And then I go back and create a little V out of this, and I take a little V off the edge also. If you've ever made a box before, you know that sometimes you get those little paper edges that stick up. Those are called paper hangovers, and we definitely don't want those. So we'll go ahead and put the box together. You want to fold on the score lines. Get it all nice and prepped and ready to put into a box. And then I use mono liquid glue. I just prefer this because it just creates a bond right with the paper. It's very quick and easy to dry. It gives you a second to reposition it. I just prefer this. I just like it. So then you just fold them in. Make sure they're standing straight up, straight on the lines, that nothing is hanging over or is in too far, because otherwise your lid will not fit. Okay, so there we have our box put together. I put my designer series paper on before I fold my box because it's just a little bit easier to do that while it's full. Okay, so this is the lid. The lid is 4 1/8 by 3 1/8, and it's scored at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. I wanted to make a little window in mine so that I could see the snowman through it. So I took the punch and I slid a Post-it note inside the punch first and punched it out. Now you have some sticky on this. So I positioned it exactly where I wanted it to be, and then I put the punch back in, centered it over top of this, and punched out the hole. Get rid of all your little pieces. Now turn it over, put a little bit of Tombow adhesive glue right there, and then you've cut a window sheet that fits right inside of here. So you'll want to secure that right there. And then go ahead and fold on all your score lines and get it ready to put together. Put some adhesive on all 4 little corners, all 4 tabs. And fold it up. So just stick all your little edges down right there, and it does give you a second to reposition them if you need to. So that's what I like about this glue. And then you just put your lid right on your box, and ta-da, it fits perfectly. All right, so the next piece we're going to do is the bottom, so that we can create a little area to turn this on and to just kind of finish the look of him with a little bit of red on the outside. So with that, I use one of the scallop circle framelits, and I just cut that out the size of the bottom, a little bit larger than the bottom of the snowman. So let me take my old one. Here we go. So you're just going to put it on here and visually just kind of center it to where you have a little bit hanging off of all the edges. And then you're going to take some pencil or something, whatever you have, and you're going to find the little spot where the on-off switch is. So that's right there. So just make a little mark, and then take just a standard 1/4 inch hole punch and punch a hole in it. I found that I needed to have just a little bit larger area than what this provides, so I just punched the first hole, and then I punched a couple on either side of it to make it a little bit larger. I can't get my finger in there to turn it on without that. So then as you put this on, you'll be able to turn your light on. So for this one, you can use mini glue dots again if you're really careful, but they will show on the outside of this. So I just made a little bead of glue all the way around this, and then put this on first so that I could see where it goes, and then turn it over and position it to where it's centered and cute. So let's work with this one since it's dry. I put a little bit of shreds in here. Now you don't want to put too many in there, mostly up on the edges, because he is created to be the same height as the box. So when you put him in, you don't want him to stick up too far, because then his nose will poke through the lid. So we'll put the lid on here. You should probably turn your light off before you give it to anybody, but I just wanted you to be able to see how cute that is. And then I just made a little embellishment for the box by tying a piece of ribbon around it. I used the snowflake punch, the large and the small. I did a large one in crumb cake, a small one in real red, and then I just added a pearl to the center. So then you're just going to slide this onto your box. Actually, I'm sliding it on. You would actually tie a new one and put it on. So I slide it on, and then I just left it up in the top corner so that it kind of still could show him through. And that's ready for gift giving. Pretty cute and easy, don't you think? Thank you for watching today. For more information, you can visit my blog at www.inkynidaho.blogspot.com. Have a great day.